Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. This for the Bold and Beautiful April 24th, 2025. Okay, so first of all, did nothing happen on today's episode. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. They was just prepping for the fashion show. Yeah, on today's episode, they was just prepping for the fashion show or whatever. I say the highlight, well, the only thing that happened really is the end of the episode when they got locked in the doggone room. They got locked in the room. Look, I thought this was gonna go. Now I know they showed the preview Friday, and it looked like they both was getting locked in the room or whatever. But then she had left the door open. I was like, okay, so maybe that's not what happened. I was like, maybe that's not what happened. So I'm like, okay, well, who's gonna wear the showstopper, or whatever? She don't sit up here and lock these folks in this doggone room. They had one of those things. What's that thing called? They be having it on the little safe at the banks, don't they? Hold on, y'all. Y'all hear that in the background? I'm gonna try to hurry up. But yeah, don't they have those little things in the on the safe at the bank? But yeah, nothing really happened on today's new episode though. So Ridge, Eric, Brooke, Daphne Carter, Steffi, Katie, everybody was just prepping for the fashion show and everything. Taylor ends up showing up. Hold on. Excuse me. But when it first started or whatever, they showed Ridge who's putting down what was he putting down? I think some photos of dresses or whatever. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, y'all. I'm trying to hurry up. But yeah, was putting down some photos of some designs and stuff, and then he just walked through the door, and then they was back there prepping and stuff. I said, now when did they get right there? I said, when did they get right there? I said, it wasn't Zendaya, Daphne, and it was somebody else. Wasn't they in that room on another episode? I said, wouldn't they have heard the whole meeting and stuff? Look, I said I be thinking too deep about this, but yeah, he just walked through the door, and then they was in the same. It looked like, if I'm not mistaken, it was the same room that Zendaya and them was in. Remember when they were saying this a big meeting and everything or whatever? And I said, "Hi, that door." I said they could tell it, boy. But I will say another thing that I noticed when they showed the preview. It's the dude I see him on TikTok. What's his name? Markel. Have y'all ever seen him on TikTok? Now I don't know his history or anything like that, but I seen him. I said I be seeing him on TikTok. But yeah, again, they was just prepping for the fashion show and everything, and Brooke and Eric was talking about their secret and how Ridge has no idea. I was like, he finna put her in this doggone showstopper. They say on tomorrow's episode, ain't tomorrow Friday? Yeah. They say on tomorrow's episode that something's supposed to happen on the little what they call it, the catwalk or something like that. Now I know it's a your delivery is on the way. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, they said something about Taylor and Brooke. Something's supposed to happen with them on the catwalk. I said these fools. I said, what they go to the pier to do? But yeah, nothing happened. Daphne's still trying to get Carter. Ridge was thanking Carter, for everything that he do and contribute or whatever. At first, I was looking for Steffi because usually she be right there with them. She be right there with them. But yeah, Brooke and Eric was talking about their secret. How Ridge has no idea, and Taylor has showed up. And what Eric said, I didn't know you was coming or something like that. And I think she caught on. I think she caught on a little bit because she made this face, and I was like, exactly. He was over here in your face at first. Sorry, they about to let me hurry up, fix this. I said at first he was over here in your face. Now he over here putting these two together again. I said, really, once again, I still say Reed shouldn't be with neither one of them. Well, yeah, I said he shouldn't be with neither one of them, but I still feel like he still want Brooke. Now he want both of them. If we being honest, he want both of them, but I still feel like he still wants Brooke mainly. Do I think Liam's gonna die? Hold on, y'all. It's blocking the comments again. I don't know. Y'all know how they like to. I've been seeing a lot of talk about Scott, the man that plays Leon. He's supposed to be going back to General Hospital, but I don't know. Like I could say, like I feel like they're gonna end up saving him. I feel like they're gonna end up saving him some type of way. But then again, I was like, they don't use him on the show enough anyway. So I don't know. I really don't know if they're gonna make him die or not. Which y'all want him to die? I see some people saying they want him to die. I was like, y'all so mean. But he don't be on the show though. Well, yeah, I was like, this whole storyline, to me, it went badly. I feel like somebody should have found. Y'all know what I'm about to say. If you listen to my reviews, you know what I'm about to say. Still, how many days it's been, and nobody saw the doggone blood on the ground. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could have been done better, but I don't know. They might save him, they might not. They saved Eric though. Wasn't he done? I think Eric was done, but they saved him, so we'll see. But yeah, like I said, Taylor ended up showing up. She was like, Ridge invited her, and she was like, I'm Steffi's mom and everything. Brooke ended up telling her that she probably shouldn't be there. She did almost knock Eric a whole bunch. I think it was 2 times. I think it was 2 times she messed up, and then she ended up closing the door because she was telling Brooke how, she belongs there. She's the one that's with Ridge right now, whatever, and all this other stuff. I said, y'all both be sharing. I said, y'all be sharing him. It's just your time right now. But also it was a moment. It was a moment. Taylor was telling Ridge something, and he said Logan. What was he saying? What was he saying? He said something about Logan. I don't know if he was just saying, everybody they contribute and stuff. And she said something about don't call Brooke your pet name that you have for her or something like that. And I said, see, she know it. She know how you get down. Hold on. They barely use him, so or not. Exactly. They barely use him. I feel like they barely use a lot of people. I know they can't really do much with what it's like. It's supposed to be 30 minutes per show, but y'all know they have all these commercials and stuff. So I was like, they barely really use anybody. Yeah, he don't. He enjoying having both of them, in my opinion. Since I've been watching, it just seemed like he enjoying having both of them. But I don't know. We'll see how everything plays out. But yeah, what did I stop it? I think with Taylor, she was telling him about Carl and Brooke Logan and stuff like that. He was like, sorry, he didn't mean to, offend her or anything like that. And I said, yeah, you gonna slip up again. You gonna slip up again. Then Brooke studied, she telling her, she had no place there. I said, once again, she was not about to knock stuff over and stuff like that. And I was waiting. I was like, okay, maybe the whole getting locked in a y'all know how they showed them getting locked in the room. I was like, maybe that's gonna happen. Maybe that's gonna happen. I'm messing up. Maybe that's going to happen after the show or whatever. No, no, because I'm waiting on her to go out there in the audience or something. But no, she back there in the way. She back there in the way. But I said, well, who gonna wear the show stopping now? But yeah, what did y'all think of today's episode? Like I said, it didn't nothing really happen aside from them getting locked in the room because Taylor felt some type of way about Brooke telling her she didn't have no place there or whatever. So she went back there, and first she left the door open. I was like, good, she left the door open. But then she slammed it, and she was just telling her about herself and stuff like that. And Eric, that's who we supposed to talk about. Eric gonna sit up here and tell Brooke, I think he told Brooke, Katie, Donna, because they was in there helping Brooke get ready. And was like, I know my son, Brooke, the love of his life and stuff like that. I said, don't you got look, don't they got kids together? Don't they got 2 kids together? If I'm not mistaken, it's Bridget and Rick, and his name Rick. But I know that's how soaps go, y'all. I know. But yeah, that's all that happened. That's all that happened. I probably missed something, but I don't think aside from that, I forgot Electra now. Let me see. Did I even write that down? What did he say to her? Will came up to Electra and said something about son look beautiful. I said he just trying to get her in the bed. I said he just trying to get her in the bed. It was nothing. I don't know. Y'all think? Well, I ain't gonna ask y'all if y'all think anything gonna happen on tomorrow's episode. What's tomorrow? Friday? I just said that. Yeah, because I was about to say they probably gonna leave with the cliffhanger. They gonna do something. They gonna end up falling or some type of way because they said something's supposed to happen on tomorrow's episode during the fashion show. I said, look, I also was expecting Taylor to wear the showstopper. I said she could just wear the showstopper instead of Brooke. But yeah, nothing to me. I'm still waiting on them to do something interesting, something that, like I said, it leads us all through the week. We on the edge of our seat waiting on the next episode, but nothing so far. Nothing so far. Just like on General Hospital. And I'm finna get ready to do their review too. I gotta go. I think they delivered my stuff. But yeah, that's it, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is Hair Girl Rest of the NBC.